Dangerous flooding in Denver after a storm rolls through the metro area with garden-shredding hail and more rain than the soaked ground could take. We look at what the Supreme Court decision against affirmative action means for students in Colorado. The state Republican Party is not even trying to hide the bigotry at this point. And that viral video of people stealing laundry detergent in the suburbs, it's led us down a rabbit hole into the black market for this stuff. Turns out, it's huge. That's tonight on Next. Hail today, annoying certainly. The rain today, though, really dangerous in spots. From I-25 to side streets in the city, the waters rose and drivers went through it because, of course, drivers went through it. And in one spot, Denver firefighters had to bring in a dive team to make sure everybody was safe. That was at 38th and Fox. Our Andy Golden got video of firefighters checking out a car. Thankfully, was empty. It was completely submerged. Denver Fire was unsure, so they had to bring in divers to make sure that nobody was inside. It's just somebody made a bad decision to drive through high water, didn't get out, but themselves, they got out before it was too late. Water on the interstate had parts of both I-25 and I-70 slowed to a crawl in Denver. And of course, we also got the hail, quarter size through the foothills, then the southwest suburbs, then into Denver. It has the potential to be a lot worse out east. The National Weather Service says Bennett and Watkins could be in for apple-sized hail in storms that are still going strong. Danielle Grant, today was just such a good reminder that, like, the line between an annoying storm and a dangerous storm is just really, really thin. It certainly is. I mean, that flooding video that you showed, just insane to see so much water come down in just such a short period of time. 1 hour, almost 2 inches of rain on already saturated waters and surfaces too. This is our camera around I-70 in Bennett. They have seen huge hail out there and so much water as well. Looks like folks just barely crawling through, and they also are under a flash flood warning tonight. You can see everywhere in orange, that's going to be the tornado watch. We still have 3 more hours to go. It is set to expire at 9 p.m., but really most of the action has been across the metro area. Out to the east, I'll show you this storm system. It still is sitting and spinning and churning out there. The severe thunderstorm warning going to extend out, it looks like, and all that heavy rain backing up toward Wiggins. The flash flood warning will continue for another couple of hours, but at least the worst of it outside of DIA, where they were on a ground stop earlier. Now I show you out to the west we go, where yet again another storm system beginning to form up in the foothills, trying to roll off the hogback, heading toward Ken Carroll. It is severe warned for half-dollar size hail. Douglas, Jefferson counties included in that one. And another cell that is just rolling in on the northwest side of town, Wheat Ridge, Berkeley, up to Federal Heights, and the northwest side of the Denver metro area. Also looking at the potential for seeing some of these storms coming through. So we're not completely out of the woods yet. Again, as we go throughout the evening, most of the action will be pushing off to the east, but we'll go hour by hour with this storm taking you to tomorrow, because yet again, Kyle, we have another risk for seeing severe weather. All right. Appreciate the updates throughout the afternoon, Danielle. The Supreme Court's decision today, striking down race-based affirmative action in college admissions, is definitely going to make it more challenging for Colorado's universities to build a student body that looks like Colorado. Here's Angeline McCall.
At MSU Denver, Kendall Taylor is pursuing her passion of art and African studies.
It's a passion for me because in part it's my lived experience. It is also a passion of mine because to uplift the folks at the bottom of this social pyramid is to uplift everyone.
Kendall had been watching the Supreme Court closely.
I had some fears around what this verdict would be.
Affirmative action overturned, meaning race cannot factor into college admissions.
I feel as though this is a huge step backwards in the stepping stones that continue to gain equity within our shared spaces, our community spaces.
MSU's Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion, Michael Benitez, says effects will be more than fewer students of color on campus.
This was a very negative decision, one that certainly is going to have some impact, make it harder for people from underrepresented backgrounds to make their way into spaces of education, which then impacts the workforce.
Meaning it could impact students in the future beyond their degree to being in the spaces where they can achieve generational wealth or being in the rooms to make a difference.
So this is serious. It is going to have serious consequences. It is going to have serious implications.
We have already seen some states where affirmative action has been banned in the past, like in the state of Michigan. As an example there, black students made up 7% of the student population at the University of Michigan in 2006 before it was banned. And in 2021, that number was just at 4%.
A number of folks who watch these issues closely say that the conservatives on the court did carve out kind of a lane for some race consciousness in college admissions, but it has to go through this essay process related to life experience.
Right, yes, they can speak. Students can speak about their racial background, their ethnic background, right? What makes them who they are in their essays. But then you have some other people on the other side saying that that's just a way to skirt around this issue legally, and that might also be a slippery slope to go down as well.
Angeline McCall, thank you very much. Supreme Court term ends tomorrow, which means that we're going to get a decision on whether the court will cancel President Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. And we will also see the court's ruling on an anti-discrimination case out of Colorado. That case involves a website designer who wants to start designing wedding websites but wants to be able to discriminate against same-sex couples. Colorado's anti-discrimination law does not allow that. The website designer says that's a violation of her First Amendment rights.
Colorado is trying to force me to create custom, unique artwork to promote ideas inconsistent with my faith and the core of who I am.
There's a critical principle in this case. You can't define your service so you exclude an entire category of people.
Second voice you heard from there was our Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser. The conservative majority appeared sympathetic to the website designer's case when it was argued in December, so a ruling could roll back Colorado's anti-discrimination laws. Looks like Xcel is only going to get a fraction of the rate increase that it wanted. Our Marshall Zellinger has been reporting relentlessly on how Xcel gets state regulators to approve additions to its already record profits. Most recently, Xcel wanted to increase electric rates by $312 million starting in September. Now there is a settlement proposal that would give Xcel a much smaller increase, something like $48 to $97 million. Final amount will depend on another case that is before state regulators. They need to determine how much Xcel is going to get for shutting down its coal plants by 2030. Xcel has agreed to this smaller rate increase. So has the state's energy office and the consumer advocate. The city of Boulder is on the record against it. Boulder says Xcel is still making too much profit and not doing enough to help its low-income customers. Expect a final decision from state regulators in August.
When you're searching online, often, very often, those products have been stolen.
The dirty little secret about why people aren't even trying to hide their mass thefts from stores these days. If you're not sure what to say during Pride Month, Happy Pride is a safe choice. The Colorado Republican Party went with Pride is evil. And we finally found some expired license plates somewhere other than flaunting Colorado's non-enforcement on the roads, including this throwback, which you may have seen making a comeback. Next.
Here we go again. Oh my gosh, so many thunderstorms cruising across the metro area, putting down so much water. Some spots looking at upwards of 2 inches. Out at DIA, they picked up a ½ inch, but still, it took our total to just shy of 6 inches for the entire month. Well above second place, just shy of 5 inches back in 1882. Thunderstorms will start to march off to the east late tonight, but we're not done yet. 10, 11 o'clock, still another round aimed at downtown Denver. And then overnight into tomorrow morning, we'll wake up to a little bit of patchy fog here in the city. And by about mid-morning lunchtime, here we go again. More thunderstorms cruising across the I-25 corridor. Out east, too, by about 3, 4 p.m., some of those potentially turning severe. So keep that in mind if you're traveling across I-70. Could be a little dicey tomorrow afternoon, getting a jump start on the holiday weekend. By about 6, 7 o'clock, things winding down in the metro area. Still some light rain showers out to the west, and then the storm system finally rolls out late tomorrow evening. Like I mentioned, the threat for seeing severe weather, it's going to be out there. However, it primarily will be impacting the eastern side of the state. They're the ones that have the best shot at seeing large hail and possibly a tornado or two. Tomorrow, temperatures a whole lot cooler than where we have been this week in the 80s and 90s. Tomorrow, upper 60s into the lower 70s for the urban corridor. A little warmer out east, more moisture to work with these thunderstorms. Then we'll be looking at isolated storms. They will be hit and miss. Not everyone getting in on them on Saturday and Sunday, but temperatures definitely warming up for the holiday weekend. And then right now close to 90 degrees on Monday for your 4th of July forecast. Yet again, we could be looking at a few thunderstorms out there, and that's going to be the trend, Kyle, as we head into the middle of next week. Here we go again.
Danielle, you up to do some instant feedback right here in the show?
Let's hear it. Oh.
Nick from Ponderosa Park. When did we start comparing hail to apples? Too many varieties and sizes.
Oh.
Can we go back to standard sizes, which Nick from Ponderosa Park lists as, follow me, pea, marble, ping pong ball, golf ball, tennis ball, baseball, softball.
Yes.
Not apple. He said, you're killing me with the apples.
It's the National Weather Service has changed that, I'm pretty sure. Because, yes, I agree with you, Nick from Ponderosa Park.
Yeah.
It could be a Gala, it could be a Fuji. I mean, size difference. Huge, huge.
All right. All right, very good. Nick from Ponderosa Park. Danielle Grant's a trained scientist. She agrees with you. Thank you, Danielle. The Colorado Republican Party is celebrating the end of Pride Month with some bigotry. The Colorado GOP's messages have grown increasingly desperate lately as the party's run out of money and the ability to pay any staff member at all. But the party's anti-LGBTQ rant today was really another level. The email to supporters is headlined by an image where the words Pride Month combine into the word demon. It accused LGBTQ people and Democrats of trying to normalize pedophilia. The Colorado GOP then accused the chairman of the Colorado Democratic Party of being a groomer. Democratic State Rep David Ortiz, a member of the LGBTQ community, called that Republican message, quote, dangerous incitement by a fundamentalist extremist group against their fellow Americans. So perhaps you, like me, hang on Snoop Dogg's every word. And you saw that Snoop shared a viral video out of Colorado this week. It's a group of guys cramming this car full of stolen laundry detergent outside a King Soopers in Centennial and popping smoke. So while everybody else is focused on who these guys are and if the cops will solve the misdemeanor of the century, Steve Staker wondered, why laundry detergent?
Damn, these guys are good.
It's a strange sight that went viral. A group of dudes ripping off the King Soopers near Holly and Arapahoe and Centennial, stuffing a car full of laundry detergent and Downy Unstoppables. The Arapahoe County Sheriff says they took as much as $500 worth.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not uncommon.
The big question is why. The investigators in this case couldn't talk to us today, but the sheriff's office says the simplest explanation is that personal care items are expensive and sell pretty easily elsewhere. A quick way to make a quick buck.
Years ago, stolen goods would be taken out of the store and then brought to somebody who's called a fence, where you could get easy cash, get some easy money for the stuff that you've stolen. And now, more and more, we've seen that operation is now online.
Chris Howes with the Colorado Retail Council calls it organized retail crime. Not just a kid swiping a candy bar or a toy from a store shelf. A targeted sweep by groups of people of small, expensive items that are easy to hawk for less elsewhere. A quick search of Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp this morning found pictures of tons of bottles of Tide Pods and boxes of dryer sheets and an invitation to HMU, hit me up, for pricing.
When you're searching online, often, very often, those products have been stolen. So kind of, buyer beware, look out. If you see a deal that's incredible to you, it's probably too good to be true.
House says this kind of retail theft is at a level the state's never seen before, costing Colorado stores an estimated $1 billion a year. For you, that means price increases on items. For cities, it means a loss of tax revenue. For stores, conversations about the future.
We don't want to take drastic action that we've seen on the West Coast, where some stores have had to lock up literally everything in the store.
So the state legislature passed a bill last year to require online marketplaces like Facebook Marketplace to collect more information about the people who are selling a lot of products on their marketplace. But you have to sell a lot to be able to get there. It's still going on now. And it's not just laundry detergent. We're talking about all the small stuff that you can grab in a grocery store. Think about and use for personal care. So think about like razor blade refills, over-the-counter medicine. I saw all sorts of stuff on the website OfferUp today, where you're just now that I look at it through this lens, I'm like, wait a minute.
That's why it's so cheap.
There was one that was like, I'm opening up a store, but I'd like to sell some of this merchandise in advance. It's just like 16 bottles of Tide Pods in the back of a dude's trunk. And I'm kind of like, that doesn't seem... Yeah.
And obviously, like, there's no real danger in buying this stuff. It's not like the cops are going to show up at your house, come out with the Tide Pods, you know.
There's no way to track it. That's the thing. Yeah.
Well, and this is why I buy razors online, because I don't want to stand there in the store for 20 minutes while somebody unlocks them for me.
Oh, yep.
You know?
Yep. That makes sense.
Well,
I just started buying razors again, too, so.
A lady called in today and said, you look very nice. I meant to tell you after the show,
Thanks to her.
but I might as well tell you now in front of everybody. Thank you, Steve.
Never found a plate that I didn't like. So.
Well, plenty of people actually don't like Colorado's new black license plates. Have you seen those on the roads? Collectors know it's not a new design. That's next. If you're a Next OG, you know that we have shared this odd fixation on Colorado's license plates since day one. Like there was the time when Colorado was awash in those Q plates all of a sudden. And then there was when the state stopped enforcing expired plates and tags. You write to us about that all the time. So it really didn't surprise me when we heard some strong reactions from Next viewers to those new stark black license plates. So admission, I'm a license plate nerd. I love them. The black plates, that is. Some of you despise them. The National Convention of the Automobile License Plate Association is in town, so we went to get their take.
Whatever you want, you can find in plate land.
That's right. That's for sure. It's definitely plate world.
We have people selling, we have people buying.
Whenever we get together in convention like this is like eye candy to everyone. Candy to a kid.
And where we think we know every single thing about plates, we find out something new. The nuances are fascinating.
We have people here from all over the world.
I'm from the Cleveland area. I live in Elyria, Ohio.
I'm from West Bay, Grand Cayman, Cayman Islands.
My home is in Lakeview, New York.
Woohoo! West Bay, boy!
There's just an allure of looking at a plate and saying, where has that plate been? What did that plate do? What's it represent?
A lot of this is the thrill of the hunt. I won't find those plates in here. I've already looked. But it's the thrill of looking for them, and you never know what you'll find while you're looking for what you're looking for.
This is a 1915 from Pennsylvania.
CI with periods, and then CI with no periods.
The 45 were white on black.
The older embossed plates, I think, have more character than the new flat white on black plates.
Some of the best friends of my life are all in this building right now. So I look forward to coming every year.
It is really one big family.
Don't throw your plates away. There's a collector out there somewhere who would love to have it if you don't want it anymore.
So what do you think? The new black plates, thumbs up, thumbs down? They're optional. They're not going to make you take them. Just an option. You can still have the Green Mountain. It's all good. Your feedback's next. The most Colorado thing we saw today was a fast-moving gun show in a hailstorm. Just a little scoot through the hail piles with the pythons and the breeze. Joe caught this guy on Tennyson after the storm. Hey, if you got to get around, you got to get around. If you see something that says Colorado to you, and that does to me, email it to next@9news.com or use the hashtag #HeyNext. Scott writes in about the Colorado GOP saying pride is evil, sending everybody a message where Pride Month becomes the word demons. Scott says, yeah, we're demons, all right. Working our jobs, caring for our homes, paying our taxes, heck, even raising kids. He says, this breaks my heart a little. Chuck writes in to say, do they still issue press license plates? They showed you those above my desk. So they do. They no longer do embossed ones with the individual media outlets' names on those. Those were only on the throwbacks. See you next time.